This is one of the secrets. Don't be tired of going back. Hi guys, welcome to another video. It's your favorite girl Oluwatosin, and this is Walk the Talk with Tosin. In one of my previous videos where I talked about how I made a first class at the Nigerian Law School, I mentioned that law school students presently in the Nigerian Law School should, write in the comment section about any topic that they want me to film or talk about and stuff like that. So I got a particular comment, and this person asked that I do a video talking about how to actively recall topics from the different courses that are taught at the Nigerian Law School. And trust me when I say I can relate, because it just seems like these topics are rolling out, and then there's a part of you asking, how can I retain this? How can all this information get stored in my head before the bar finals exams? First thing I want you to know is that it is possible to know what you need to know to pass the exam. Okay, that's just what I'm going to say here. Now in this particular video, I'm going to talk about things that I did personally. Again, disclaimer, what I did that really helped me and worked for me. Just sit tight and enjoy this video. So if I would say that there is anything that really helped me to actively recall my topics, I'll say is that I really tried my possible best to relate everything I was taught to real life scenarios. So for every time I'll pick up my notes while I'm reading, I'll try to paint a scenario in my head. Like I'll act it like a full seasonal movie in my head. Like I just try to relate it to real life scenarios. Sometimes I go as far as saying, oh, Mr. Obi and Mr. This. So this is one thing that I know that I did that really helped me, especially with courses like corporate law that may seem abstract at some point. Sometimes I'll go as far as copying and pasting a particular concept on Meta AI or my WhatsApp, and I'll say, explain this like you are explaining to a 5-year-old child, that kind of thing. And they'll give me a scenario and be telling me about one boy that is 5-year-old selling lemonade and some crazy things here. As simple as it sounds, those things were like the things that I know that really helped me. I make sure I simplified everything to like the barest. So this is where the active recalling comes in, because I will now try to like remember those scenarios. I'm not trying to remember the concepts, because sometimes if my brain wants to remember those concepts, it will be looking like so much like I don't know how to explain it, but it will just be looking like too complex. So I'll just be like, no, I'll do it later. But when I try to remember the scenarios, because they are very simplified and I make it very dramatic, it kind of just helps me. So I'll actively try to remember those scenarios that I created in my head. Another thing that I'll say that I did that kind of really helped me was quizzing with my friends. This is another method that I believe would also be very helpful. You and your friends, you can come together, or your roommates, try to ask each other questions. I remember then in my room, my roommates can just say, sentence this person, say something like, oh, I want to open a company, what are the steps? If I want to register a company rather, or I want to get accredited as a lawyer to register a company, what are the steps? All those kind of things. Like we try to relate it. We were making it dramatic amongst ourselves. So now you're not creating stories with abstract people, you're actually creating stories with your roommates. You guys will practicalize it, make it part of your conversations, and I'm telling you, you'll be very shocked that during the bar final exams, you literally sometimes hear your roommate's voice saying the sentence of this court upon you, or something like that. So don't put pressure on yourself when you're reading that, oh my god, I'm reading for bar final exam, I'm reading for exams. Just learn it like you're trying to just learn as a lawyer. Oh, you're a lawyer, you're supposed to know these things, right? So just let your focus just be on actively learning these things, enjoying it without the pressure of the bar final exams. Just discuss about it like you guys are just gisting and just talking about something that is not law, but then it is law. You and your friends can even agree that, oh, ask me questions randomly. So I had friends that could just walk up to me and say, oh, Tosin, what court will you file this kind of action, that kind of thing, just randomly. Because sometimes when they randomly pop up on you like that, your brain will be forced to try to remember that information. And even if you do not remember, it is totally okay. Do not try to put pressure on yourself like, oh my gosh, I don't remember, da 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 da. Just simply go back to your book and try to remember. There were times that in my room, people, they'll be asking questions and I'll tell them I don't know. They'll be like, how do you not know? I'm like, I actually do not know. I can't remember. And I'll be forced to go back to my book. This is one of the secrets. Don't be tired of going back. Don't beat yourself up if you cannot remember something. Keep going back. That alone is helping you to actively recall information, because whenever I forget, I go back. Whenever I forget, I go back. Before you know, I'll find out that this particular information is stuck in my head. Another thing I'll say is summarization. You can make your notes. There are people that did not make notes and they graduated with very good grades, but you can also make your notes. Maybe after learning in class, you've read before class, on your own, you can now sit down and try to make your own notes now, but you're not just copying it back. You're trying to actively recall what you have learned. Now, it's not possible that you will remember every single detail because you are not a computer, but for the ones that you can recall, you can write them down, make your own notes. Then the ones that you did not recall, you can actually go back to your notes, check it again, and try to remember. To be very honest, do not be tired of going back. There were people that I knew then in school, maybe they tried to remember something and they could not remember, and the next thing they're already giving up. Oh my god, this thing is hard, da 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 da. Go back. See, even up until some weeks to the bar final exams, you may be feeling like I'm forgetting things, but you will not know how much your brain has stored information until you're actually in the exam hall and you will see the questions. You'll be shocked how you'll be able to remember some things, right? But that would only happen if you take steps to actively recall these things even outside the classroom. Even after you've read, you're just walking to class, try to remember, what does rule this of the RPC say? What does rule 12 say? What are the exceptions? On your own, just be trying. That's why you must constantly engage your mind. I'm not saying you should not rest, so please rest. Another thing you can do, again, is still related to the first point I mentioned about relating it to real life examples, right? Self-questioning. Ask yourself questions. Randomly, you're walking on the road, just ask yourself questions. Oh, what is this? What does section D say? I would say focus on learning the principles first before all those sections and cases. Make sure you understand every principle that you're taught in class. Understand it very well, understand the rule, understand the exceptions before cases. So when you're walking on the road, you can just try to ask yourself, what does this thing say? What are the exceptions? Again, when you're practicing your drafts, practice it with the names of your friends. I remember that time, anytime I'm drafting a charge and I want to put the criminals, I'll write the names of my friends. Every time I was always charging them to court. You can tell your friend, oh, you're the defendant in this case, take, I'm serving you. I don't know if you get, just using it to play around and joke around with your friends. But you have to be careful, because you know that during the exam you have to use the actual name that is in your scenario. Finally, there's something I want to say. There is a reason why when we were in nursery school, we were made to constantly repeat the times table, shapes, colors, the alphabets, and all of that, because there's something called the law of repetition. If something is constantly repeated to you, it gets stored in your head even without you knowing. Repetition is very important. I don't know if there's any human being on this earth that can just see something once and remember all the details. Maybe in the next 3 days they can ask them to write an exam and they'll be able to remember every single thing. I don't know if there's anybody like that, but with what I know, repetition really helps. I know that the information in law school seems like a lot. Which one do you want to repeat to yourself? That's why I mentioned that any little space you have while you're walking to buy food, while you are just doing some other things, just make sure you're trying to repeat certain information, especially things that you've seen in past questions. You know that this thing must come out. You know that drafts must come out. Be walking on the road and be trying to remember these things. Honestly, it helps a lot. Again, these are things that I did and I saw other people do the same thing, right? I'm not saying you must do them. Honestly, there are probably other ways you can assimilate information, and that's totally okay. Yeah, but I just filmed this video in response to that comment. For Nigerian law school students, if there's any other topic you would want me to talk about, you can also put it down in the comment section. I also heard that you guys are going on externship. I think I should film a video on how to read during externship, because see that externship, don't waste it. I promise you, do not waste it. Don't think that you're going home to just go and party and enjoy yourself and all of that. Thank you guys for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share it with any other Nigerian law school student that you know. Thank you for watching. Bye.